Hello and welcome to the 51st Commander Lucosa video for Elite Dangerous, and you join me as I'm about to bugger off to fish a platform because I don't have much time to waste to get this mission underway. So the things that I will be talking about, well, I'll talk about them on the way. Now, I'll start with a warning. All you lot who seem to be under the impression that this game has some God-given rights to be exempt from criticism, you better switch this video off now, because I'm going to criticise it. And you know, I'm sick of these cunts like, you know, who keeps saying that I'm the one who's whinging, even though I'm not one of these who just sits there and says, oh, this game sucks, blah blah blah. I give reasons for it, I give details for it, you know. So yeah, if you don't you know, don't like hearing your precious game being criticised, then I suggest you know, don't bother watching any more of this. Okay, so off you fuck, and leave the rest of us to this video. Right, that means that everyone left now will actually listen to some criticisms, and if you then complain about it, don't say you weren't warned. Now, the first criticism is one that's been in several of my videos for Beta 2 for some time now, and that is, of course, the infamous stuttering issue. Now, if you look at the Elite Dangerous forums, you will see that there is a huge number of people who are affected by this. It's not just me. It's something in the region of a 60-40 split, with 60% suffering from this sort of stuttering problem. Which does of course beg the question, why is that? Because in Beta 1 there was no stuttering issue, and on top of that, in Beta 1 graphically it was superior in every way. So whatever changes that have been brought about during spaceflight, and a lot of them I'm still convinced are changes for the sake of change rather than changes to make the game better, and indeed the fact that the game stutters like fuck only knows what is a pretty good indication that it certainly wasn't changes for the better. You know, it makes you wonder, why have they even bothered putting them in? Why couldn't they have left them at Beta 1? But anyway, I got a reply from one of the devs with my ticket about the diabolical performance, how the game was running, and he suggested that I change my SLI settings, which I did, and I must admit, yep, they did make a difference. Trouble is, the difference they made was they made it about 10 times worse. So if the devs are clutching at straws like that in order to get it to work, then what fucking hope have we got? So that didn't endear them to me too much.
Request granted.
And in fact, I've since tried something else, and you may have noticed that the stuttering isn't quite as bad this time. Now, what do you think the hugely technical change that I made is? Nope, you're wrong. What I did was enable VSync. That's all I did. And although it hasn't it is deployed, for fuck's sake. So although it hasn't got rid of the stuttering, it has reduced it significantly. Just that simple thing. Something that Frontier Developments didn't mention. That's good, isn't it? Anyway, let's see how much we made. I think we are going to do quite nicely in this run. Actually, I have already forgotten if I picked up any for Locke's claim. I think I was avoiding them and just getting them for this place. Another big paying one. So, I think I've got some in the commodities market. Yes, I have. $19,980 credit profit, not bad. So we're up to 807,000. It would have been a lot more than that, except I took the ASP into a bit of combat, and initially I didn't do too badly. I took out 2 ships at one unidentified signal source site. Admittedly, one was a hauler, but there you go. The other was a Cobra who was more interested in scanning me than actually fighting me, and he showed the comm signal saying, "Don't worry, this scan doesn't hurt." Well, the scan didn't hurt, but I'll tell you what, my fucking 4 burst lasers into his hull hurt him. Okay, now is that all there is for missions here? Well, there are some to LHS-64, the other station, but I want to go back to Fullerton City, and there's very good reasons for that, which I will cover when I'm there. So yeah, only 2 missions. Oh. So anyway, yeah, so that was at the first unidentified signal source. The second one didn't go quite so well. I managed to take out the first ship fairly easily, mainly because it was another hauler. The second one, he was one of 2 ships who were firing on me at the same time. The second one was a hauler. I didn't even get to see what the third ship was. Nothing here. So, needless to say, I got the ship blown out of me, and I had to get my ASP back through the what do you call it, insurance, and buying my ASP back with the upgrades that I have cost me 480,000 plus. Now to put that into context, in Beta 1 when I had my Anaconda, that was costing me 397,000 to get that back in in insurance. So the ASP, and is not very well upgraded, is costing me close to 100,000 more than the Anaconda did. So this is an expensive ship to run, which does of course beg the question, how much would it cost to run a fucking Type 9 or an Anaconda? I mean, the answer to how much does it cost to run a Type 9 is too fucking much, because I mean that ship is just an enormous great hunk of shit, and I cannot stand the thing. I can't imagine it being any better in Beta 2, but, well, I can't see too many people being able to progress far enough and quickly enough to get the Type 9, unless they basically eat, drink, sleep, live really dangerous, in which case they're even more of a sag cunt than I am. And as for progressing further on to get the Anaconda, I think that's just out of it. And we don't know for sure if there is going to be a wipe at the start of Beta 3, but I wouldn't bet against it. So, you know, you could be quite close to getting the Type 9, or even being close to getting the Anaconda, and then as soon as you're about to buy it, boss you back to the start again. I mean, I've got no problems with restarts and that. It's all part of the beta. We were all told that it was going to happen. What I don't like is the constant requests on the forums for restarts to include giving the commanders extra credits. Usually it's a significant number of extra credits, which I think is bullshit. You either do a full you know, reset, or you don't do anything and just leave the commanders as they are. You don't do a sort of half and half sort of thing. That's absolute bollocks. So yeah, I'll forget that. Now, the next new thing is that we are now up to beta 2.06. And to be honest, I haven't noticed subtle difference between this and beta 2.05. So I can't even begin to tell you what the differences are, because as far as I can tell, there aren't any. So yeah, I'll forget that one. Once we arrive at Fullerton City and I've got rid of all of me bulletin board missions and me cargo, we'll go on to something else that I want to cover. It could be a bit of a surprise. Now, I don't know if it's just my imagination, but travelling through Supercruise seems to be a bit slower than it was before. I don't know if this is a change in 2.06, in which case, okay, so there is one thing I've noticed, or, as I think is more likely, it's because of some of the upgrades I fitted to my ship, because the upgrades are enormous. We're talking like 20 tons mass plus, and all that extra weight is having an effect. So it could be that. In fact, I suspect it's more likely to be that than it is that, you know, Frame or Supercruise has been slowed down in the latest beta update. Started getting docking permission while I'm a lot further out, so instead of having to then stop right in front of the entry and exit point, I can just go straight in, which is something that pretty much everybody else who plays the game does, but yeah, I've only just got round to actually doing it. Okay, we're catching that one a bit steep, a lot steeper than usual. Landing gear down. stuttering like that in the docking bay is the worst place. Right, so dump this lot. Yeah, only the two there. And we'll go to the commodities board. Yeah, they are running out of polymers at Fisher platform, so I can only take whatever they've got. In this case it was 50 tons, so I'll sell that for 12,100, probably it was 6,750, can't argue with that. And then I make up the difference with synthetic fabrics, profit 162. See, when I first bought them, my profit was only about 97, so the profit's gone up quite a bit, so much so in fact that maybe getting these instead of polymers is a better idea. Maybe. Yeah, so I'm making 13,770 profit on that out of a sale of 26,350, so I'm more than doubling my money. So we are up to 836,151 credits. Shame it's not the 1.3 million that it would have been if I hadn't been destroyed. Now, anyway, let's go into the outfitting and I'll show you how far I've got in upgrading the ASP. I've upgraded quite a bit. Okay, so she now has the point defense turret and the heatsink launcher. They're both class I. They stay, the same no matter what. There's only one of each of those. I've got a G-rated kill warrant scanner, an F-rated frame shift weight scanner. I haven't actually used either of them yet, so I can't actually tell you how well they do. 4 gimbal burst lasers in the 4 small hard points. They're all rated G, so they're not fantastic. And in the 2 medium hard points, 2 D-rated class 2 gimbal multi-cannons. They are the overcharged versions. Our bulkheads I haven't changed because I simply can't afford it. I'm never going to be able to afford that. Power plant is now G. Thrusters are F, as is the frame shift drive. Life support is unchanged. Power distributor is a F. Sensors are G5s. Fuel tank is unchanged. Cargo racks are 64 capacity each there. The shield generator is unchanged, H5. Cargo rack there is 8 maximum. Bought myself a shield cell bank to repair weakened shields. That is an F3. Nothing in there. Cargo rack there is the same class 4, and the basic discovery scanner. Now in this slot here I did have the auto field maintenance unit, this thing here, and quickly found that this is bugged to high heaven. In fact, it's so badly bugged that it's useless. No matter when or where you go to the starport services, including if you just close that window and then reopen it straight away in the same station, it will always be asking you to pay 1,000 to rearm it. And this is just despite the fact that you may have already paid the 1,000. So it eats up all your money, but effectively never actually gets rearmed, so it is never usable because as far as it's concerned it doesn't have any of the actual ammunition, as you can see there, that it needs. So you can't use the thing. So thankfully I figured this out after only losing 2,000 credits, so I quickly got rid of that, and that means that at the moment this compartment is empty. I've also figured out that these lasers I can get 17 blasts out of these before they overheat, and that's with 4 pips in weapons, which frankly isn't enough. So they're not that great. To be honest, I really need weapons that will have a greater impact and do more damage straight away, rather than you know, just having to take my time, because at the moment I'm not destroying ships fast enough. So I've got to do something about that. The other thing is I desperately need to upgrade the, where is it, the shield generator. My shields are pathetic, without putting too fine a point on it, and when I had the 2 ships at the second unidentified signal source firing at me, they got through my shields in no time at all, like, you know. So the H5 shields really are no good, but in order to improve my shields I would have to get a class 6 shield generator and replace what I currently have with this. Now, it's a shield cell bank. I thought it was a shield generator there, because I thought F6 shield generator for 556,000 sounds fucking good. I would have bought that in the blink of an eye. So yes, so the shields are on this ship are terrible, but nothing as terrible as the hull. Your hull cannot take too much damage at all before it's completely, like, just gone to buggery. So yes, the hull also badly needs upgrading, and considering that just the reinforced alloy alone is 5.3 million, it's not very likely that you're going to get it, or at least not unless you're in it for the long haul. And if you're going to be in it for the long haul, you really may as well just wait for either the gamma or the full version. Which brings me down to the final big point, and some people may not like this, but it does rather pain me to say it. I don't like the ASP. When you first get it, it's quite slow, quite sluggish, and it needs an enormous amount of upgrades. And I fitted quite a few upgrades. The trouble is, all I could afford at the moment are G's and F's, and G and F upgrades are simply not good enough. They're not even close to being good enough. You really need D's or better, and to get those you are looking at something in the region probably about 1.7 million each. And on top of that, if you replace an item, say like the thrusters, which you have to have fitted to your ship, you can't just sell them and then buy something a bit later on. You've got to have something there. If you do that, I can't show you here, but let's try with right, life support. I haven't got any. Okay, let's try with power distributor. Okay, right, I'd have the option to buy it. I'm not going to. But right here, so if you now do this, it's saying here that to buy this power distributor costs you 63,000 blah blah blah, and to sell it or sell your current one you'll get back 70,000. So in other words, you'll get back 7,600 or 7,599. In fact, you don't. It takes off the cost of the new part, but does not reimburse you the value of the item you're selling. Now, with items like lasers or items that you can sell, you know, anyway, it does work. You will get back the value of the item you're selling. So let's just show, for example, a multi-cannon. No, where's the laser I was looking at getting? I wanted the gimbal burst laser low heat. I'm right on top of the fucking thing. So this will now only cost me a few hundred, and if we then click on confirm, there you go, it has only cost a few hundred to buy. So I'm not going to bother to replace all of those. I'm now going to put back the laser that I already had there. So again, to upgrade the ASP to a point where it is worth having, by which case I mean you've got D-rated equipment or better, it's going to cost you a huge amount of money, and probably far more than you're going to get by grinding within the beta. So I'm not sure I really fancy it, to be honest. Not least because if you go to the shipyard, now if I was to sell this ship for a Cobra Mark III, I will get back over 8 million. In fact, I will have 8.9 million credits as a result of buying the Cobra back. And the Cobra is by no means a bad ship, and 8.9 million will allow you to upgrade it a huge amount. In fact, so much so that it then makes you think, well, why bother with the ASP if you can get a Cobra that does, that well? It's smaller, so it's not as easy to hit. It is faster. It's more manoeuvrable. Okay, it can't carry anything like as much cargo, but it still has a reasonable amount of cargo space. You can, with only a few exceptions, it can do pretty much anything that the ASP does. But it's a lot cheaper, and it's also a lot cheaper to run. It doesn't have the firepower. I mean, it's only got 4 hard points, whereas the ASP, I mean, it has 4 just in its small hard points, let alone the medium hard points on top of it. But when you look at how good the Cobra is and how good you can upgrade it to, it makes the ASP a bit of a hard sell at the moment. So I am quite likely going to replace my ASP. I'll just show you the status there. You look at kills, 1,644. It's got up by 4, so yeah, I did take out those 4 enemy ships. Well, I only got bounty bounces for 2 of them, because I lost the other 2 after I was destroyed. Now my fire groups are a lot more complicated, because I've got all these other bloody scanners and my shield cell bank and every other, gubbins there. So yes, the fire groups is not as simple as it has been. But nevertheless, I do think that I may be better off in the Cobra. Now the trouble is, the game often crashes when you try to sell a ship for one that's cheaper. Oh, let's try it and see if it'll work this time. Well, fuck me, it worked. So, we are now back in the Cobra. There we have a nice balance of 8,916,606 as a result. None of my priorities are set, and I'm not going to bother setting any of them until I've bought some nice new upgrades for it. So let's have a look, see what we can get for this thing. So 2 medium hard points, 2 small hard points. Okay. I tend to leave weapons till last, believe it or not, because things like the thrusters and your frame shift drive, I think, are more important. And so is your ability to carry cargo, because of course at the moment this thing can only carry 18 tons, which isn't a huge amount. Well, let's start by sorting out our manoeuvrability, which we can't do because this place hasn't got any fucking thrusters I can fit. So we're off to a flying start. Alright, let's try the frame shift drive. H4 is what I've got. Right, let's compare it to the E4. It's greater mass. That's not such a problem though, because the power of the drive, it goes up by, what's that, 158 tons for the optimal mass. Well, that's not bad. I would like something a bit more than E4 though. Right, power distributor. Well, that's an E3. Oh, okay, I can only use class 3s. Again, I'd like D's, not E's. Well, let's at least upgrade with fucking cargo racks. Surely they got some 16s in. Oh, for fuck's sake, I haven't even got them in. Whose idea was it for me to buy the fucking Cobra here, you know? Whoever it was, you're a fucking idiot. Shield generator F4. Let's compare that to the one I've got. Now see, this is the thing I don't get. Does the rating alone mean it's better? I mean, it's drawing more power, so I would assume it's better. I don't entirely understand how shield generator ratings work. Basic discovery scanner, I mean, they haven't even got the fucking other... What a fuck up. Right, what haven't I checked? Did I check the power plant? No, I didn't. What do I need? I need class 4, this is F. I've got H. Again, I want it better than F. So that's no good. Oh, hang on, right, this cargo rack here, right, 2. Oh, okay, there we go, there's a capacity 4 there, I can actually buy something. Who fucking hooray. So, that will take out 2,250. Right, so I've upgraded something. I now have 20 tons cargo capacity. We're all set. Well, okay, what about sensors? I've got H3, isn't it? I've got F2 now. So mass is lower, power draw is lower, range is better, class is down. Does that mean it's worse? It hasn't seemed to make any difference, so, or rather it hasn't you know, led to me being any worse off. But I do have much more important things to upgrade than the sensors. Right, well, big deal, I can upgrade my life support. Alright, as... oh, hang on, an E4. Oh, hang on, no, that was there already, wasn't it? It was a D4 I wanted. As I cannot upgrade a single fucking thing, I'm going to leave this video here. So, well, anyway, I'm now back in the Cobra. I have a nice balance of 8.9 million. And when some upgrades decide to finally show up, I should be all set to do that, and then my next video will take the heavily upgraded Cobra into combat, and I'll finally get to show you some destruction. But in the meantime, that's going to have to be it, because I can't really do too much else. I'm not taking a stock Cobra anywhere, that's for sure. So yeah, this is Commander Lucosa signing off.